What's up, guys? How are you guys doing? In this video, we're gonna be continuing doing our character guide, and this time we're gonna be talking about Bunny Girl Clair. Okay, again, all the Bunny Girls are freaking amazing in this game, and yeah. So I figured I'd do another Bunny Girl guide video, and yeah, let's talk about Bunny Girl Clair right here. Okay. And this is another character that's really amazing, guys. Okay, so she's attacker type, striker type, and she's really strong against single target enemy because all of her skills are single target, and she could do some crazy amount of damage. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about her kit, the team you guys can use with her, and what kind of gear and stuff you guys want to run on her. Okay, so let's get started, guys. Okay, so let's look at what her kit does. Okay, of course this is what her stats looks like, not the best one, right? I mainly use her in like mono water stage in tower. I'll say that I don't use her that much because I've just been running the same team everywhere, but I have used her a couple of times and she's amazing, right? So far her performance is great, right? So if we talk about her passive, what her passive does is it will increase her crit rate by 6% at the start of the turn, which is really good. And then this stacks up to 3 times. So she gonna give herself about like 18% crit rate up at the start of the turn, which is really good, right? And then she also removes all chill stacks and trigger where are you looking skill, which is her skill right here, right? The skill right here as a follow-up after using faster than light if chill is at max stack, right? So it's pretty much a very simple passive, right? So if you have max stack of chill, instead of using her basic attack right here, this faster than light skill, she actually gonna be after she uses this, she follows up with her skill right here, right? Her skill is really good. Okay, so yeah, that's very good right here. She's similar to the Bunny Girl, what's her name? Bunny Girl Charlotte and Bunny Girl Freya. All of them they have like some sort of follow-up on their basic attack. Okay, and she does have one as well, right? Very good skill right there. Of course at max dupe I have her E0. I mean I have her like dupe 0, so her passive is simple, but if you get max dupe on her, you actually gonna increase her attack by 15%. I think most of the character at max rank they're gonna get some sort of increase to their main attribute or main stats. Okay, since she scale with attack, it's giving her 15% attack. But if she scale with HP, it will give her like 15% HP and stuff like that. Okay, and then it will increase Clair crit rate by 10%, which is crazy, right? At the start of turn, and this thing stacks up 3 times, so she gonna get a flat 30% crit rate increase at the start of the turn, right? Which is amazing, right? So she can easily crit with her skill because all of her skill and passive gives her a lot of crit rate. Okay, and then stack up to I backed out. So and then stack up to 3 times, right? And then removes all chill stack and trigger where are you looking after using faster than light if chilled at max stack, right? Very simple, right? Faster than sight is her basic attack. This is her skill right here, right? And then if you look at her basic attack, it's pretty simple, right? Quickly close in, pulls her spear back, then thrust it straight into the enemy's grant self 1 stack of chill. Very good, right? And self when you Nova burst it, it will do a self toughness fixed damage and power increase by 1 on attack, right? Very good right there. And then her skill, one of the best skills she got, right? Very good skill, by the way, right? Hits the jackpot to attack the enemy, grants self attack up for 2 turns and increase self action gauge by 30%, right? That is amazing, right? So she gives herself a 30% action gauge increase and also giving herself a 2 turn attack up increase, right? And then grants herself 3 stack of chill, which is amazing, right? So she see right here, grants herself 3 stack of chill on critical hit. Okay, so you definitely want her to crit whenever she attack. Okay, so you could get those chill stacks, right? And you guys know, right? Once she have max stack, she could actually follow up with her skill when she uses her basic attack, right? Very good right there. And then if you look at this, right, it's a 30% increase to attack, right? Very good right there. And then we got her ultimate. This thing hit like a truck, bro. This thing is really strong, man. So tosses and detonates a lucky card to attack the enemies. Increase self crit rate by 20% on attack. Look at that. She have another form of increasing crit rate, which is really good, right? And then grant self jackpot bloom, right? Jackpot bloom for 3 turns, which is really good. After attacking, deals 10% increased damage for each buff on the enemy, up to 5 buffs, right? This is actually amazing. Yeah, this thing can hit like crazy if the enemy got like 5+ buffs on them. Okay, there are a lot of enemy in PvE that buff themselves. So having this thing, especially, and then you like yeah, so Banniger Clay can actually be really good against Rosaria, guys. Okay, this is a new score challenge. I only did this once, guys, so my score is terrible. Of course, but if you guys can see, right, people are using Banniger Clay on here, right, because of the ultimate right here. Okay, this ultimate is gonna hit really hard against Rosaria specifically, right, because she self buffs quite a lot, and it could also work on heal day, right? If you guys are like worried about that, it could also work on heal day, right? Look at this, right? Rosaria, she's gonna be really good here, okay, in score challenge, because her damage scale off of the amount of buffs the enemy have. So yeah, really good against Rosaria right here. Okay, I am definitely gonna reset my score and try to do a better job at this, but for now, that yeah, my score is terrible, right? But yeah, just want to show you guys that. Okay, so Claire is really good against certain matchups. Okay, if there's an enemy that buffs themselves quite a lot, yeah, she's gonna be crazy, right? She's also why she's really good in PvP as well, right? Yeah, because in PvP most of us, we have a buffer at least, right, in PvP team, and yeah, she's just gonna be nuking with her ultimate right here, right? And then yeah, her ultimate also gives her more crit rate, right? So you definitely don't need to build a lot of crit rate on her, because she gets a lot of crit rate on her kit. So yeah, you could go with a crit damage gear, okay? And it will work fine, okay? So yeah, grants of Jackpot Plume for 3 turns after attacking, and deal 10% increased damage for each buff on the enemy up to 5 stacks, right? Yeah, that's a 50% damage, right? If the enemy got 5 buffs on them, right? Which is crazy, right? And then, oh yeah, let me look at, so on her skill, the Nova Burst self toughness fixed damage temporarily increased by 1 on attack, right? Very simple Nova Burst right there. And then when you Nova Burst her ultimate right here, temporarily deals 1 more toughness fixed damage on attack and increase self-action gauge by 20% after attacking. That is crazy, right? So you combine this right here with her passive right here, that's actually crazy, right? Yeah, she gets what, like, she could give herself 30% action gauge here, and she could also give another like 20% action gauge here as well when you Nova Burst her ultimate, which is really, really good, right? Yeah, she's very strong, and yeah, she hits really hard. Of course, with the skill upgrade, this thing gonna go down. Actually, no, it doesn't go down. So yeah, it's only 4 turns, which makes sense. I think if this was 3 turns, it would be a little too broken, right? 4 turns, fine, right? And it does impact damage, which means it's gonna hit really hard as well, right? Of course, if you look at her lucky, let me show you guys right here, right? The Jackpot Bloom skill right here, what it does is, right, it will give her a crit rate and crit damage increase by 20%, which is broken, right? This is really, really strong, right? Amazing effect right here on her ultimate right here, okay? And now let's talk about her gears. Gears is very simple. I am personally running a crit rate set on her, but you guys definitely will be fine running a crit damage set on her, since she buffs her crit rate with her kit, right? She buffs her crit rate quite a lot with her kit, so you guys can actually run a full crit damage set right here, okay? Not this one, let me show you guys this right here, right? The crit damage destruction set. You could actually get away with that, and she's still gonna be putting out some crazy numbers, right? I think this is, I'm actually gonna try to give her a tier 2 crit damage gear and see how that works. So of course I do want to get a lot of crit rate on the sub status, so I could at least have like about like 60% crit rate, and then with her all of her buffs from her skills, she will get 100% crit rate, right? So she's gonna be critting quite easily. But yeah, I think you guys can definitely run a crit damage set on her, okay? And she'll be fine. I think, yeah, the set is definitely really good for her. But of course, you guys can also run the crit rate set right here, right? That's fine as well, right? If you guys want to maximize her crit rate and just want her to always crit, yeah, very good right there, right? And then for the 2 set right here, I am personally running this right here, right? The Valor set is really good for any DPS characters, because it just gives them attack increase, and everything for on DPS scale with their attack, so that works, right? Yeah, because the basic stats are terrible, right? But if we want to talk about main stats, I think crit damage is definitely really good here, right? You can do speed too if you guys want, but I think crit damage is really good. Just so when you crit, you actually gonna be doing a lot more damage, right? So I think crit damage is gonna be really good, but of course you do want speed and crit rate stats on the bottom, right? And of course attack, right? And then if you look at this, I'll say attack percentage is the best one, okay? Now, no question asked, right? She doesn't have any debuffs or anything, so she doesn't need effective resistance or effective trait or anything, right? Yeah, you want attack here, right? These are very simple, right? But then these ones are just, set amount, right? So you get flat defense, flat attack, flat HP, right? These two, the necklace and the ring, are are the ones that matter because they have different kinds of status, like main stats, as you guys can see, right? Look at this, right? This one got speed. This one, see, one gives you attack right here. You could go with attacks there too, but yeah, you could get crit rate too. But I think for crit damage makes more sense. And yeah, that's Bunny Girl Charlie for you guys. Okay, she's by far one of the best single target DPS character in the game. And if you look at her resonance 6 right here, okay, she actually gonna get this right here through the journey mode right here, right? Slightly increase max HP by certain percentage, which is really good. And then she also gives herself a speed boost right there, and then she gives herself attack boost on resonance 10, and she gives herself another attack boost right here, right? When you go inside the journey and you acquire this skill right here, right? Very good. And yeah, she's really good for team wise. I think you could actually just use her with any team, right? Especially with a single target assassin comp, she's gonna fit right on, and okay, she's gonna be fine. I think this chick right here, she's gonna be really good with her as well, right? What's her name, right? Sierra. Very good, right? She also can buff her attack even more, right? You guys can use her with and the other Bunny Girl, right? You could do a full Bunny Girl team as well. Works fine, right? Bunny Girl Charlotte, she works really well with her as well, right? Of course, Lacey, what's her name? Ashera, she works with everyone, so that's fine. All the tanks, they work really well with everyone, right? Of course, Emily is going to be one of the best teammates you guys can actually use it with her, because Emily can also provide chill stacks with her, and she's also blue attributes, right? So same with Bunny Girl Clair. So yeah, Emily, really good team comp with her, right? Yeah. So and you could also use AoE DPS character with her as well. Since she's mainly a single target, you can run another DPS that is AoE focus, and yeah, you'll be chilling, right? Very good character, and yeah. I think that's pretty much it for Bunny Girl Clair, and let me know what you think about her. And yeah, of course, let me know how you guys are running her as well, right? Or what kind of gear you guys are running with her, okay? Anyways, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and bye-bye.